loved the engagements on the previous episode, and that's why we are here again today. You're welcome back to the Insights Room, and this is where we break down stuff in the tech space and then the data space for you to the simplest form so that you can easily understand and relate with us very well. My name is Anna Kwame, and this is the Insights Room, powered by Reshaping Consult. I'm doing this today with Silas. I'm doing this with Charles. Today we are going to be engaging on a very controversial document, a very controversial file that has come onto our table. We are going to analyze it. We are going to give our opinions about it. We are going to critique it very, very critically. And the document is simply Ghana's AI strategy. So it's a strategy basically that has been brought to bear by the Ministry of Communication, and it is actually looking for us to have a conversation about AI, looking to make Ghana the Silicon Valley of AI in Africa. And its timelines are going to span from 2025 to 2035, and it is built on various pillars. I think Charles is very, very much vexed in this space. He's very much vexed in this document because he seems to have a lot of knowledge on what the document is seeking to do. Silas is also here with me. Silas is a very serious young man. I would allow him to introduce himself and tell us what exactly he does. I think we remember Charles from the very previous episode with us. And so they are going to be my guests today on the Insights Room with us. Silas, how are we?
Cool, no. How are you, sir?
We are doing very well. We have a very controversial document before us today. True. But first, I think for those who have never met you, tell them a little bit about yourself. And yeah.
And even this is my first time.
Oh, this is your very first time on the pod?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so
yeah,
I'm Silas, and I'm with iStrategy as the head of operations, and so that's a little bit about myself. With regards to my interest is I'm very deep in touch with the way Africa in particular, the digital scape is like. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Very well. So viewers, you heard from Silas. He's giving us what exactly he does with strategy and what his interests are. You remember this young man too, Charles, from the very previous episode where he spoke to us about HR analytics and how we can use analytics to do certain things. Charles, you're welcome back to the pod.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's nice to be here again.
Yes. Yeah. I would quickly run through some of the pillars of the National AI Strategy and what exactly it says. I see here that the National AI Strategy, it is built on 8 pillars. The very first pillar is expansion of AI education. We'll look at that. We'll see how feasible it is, basically. That's what we are going to do here today. We are going to look at each of the pillars, how feasible they are, and whether or not they make sense to our understanding and to our hearing. I mean, we are very much versed in this space, so we are going to be analyzing it. So the very first one is to expand AI education. They are looking to integrate AI education into our curriculum and to build a skilled workforce through STEM, TVET, and higher education programs. I don't know what we think about that, but sounds like a good one, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good policy.
Right.
It's a very good strategy because the world is moving towards a technological landscape. The world is evolving and everybody is moving towards technology. And to integrate AI and to integrate technology into your curriculum, your educational curriculum, it creates the opportunity for everyone to be technologically inclined, which closes the skill gap between those who actually study technology and the average person. Silas, I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think that is a very good initiative by the government. I think it's been long overdue because when you look at the top, digital countries in the world, like China, like the Asian countries, when a kid is as low as 4 years trying to delve into robotics and all that, you feel like, what am I doing? What am I doing if I'm an African? So I think it's a very good initiative for the government to inculcate this in our curriculum.
Right. I mean, it's a very, very good nature. On the face value, it looks very good, but normally, whenever we have such documents as a country, we need to look beyond the face value. We need to look at our history in implementing plans, in implementing stuff like this. Considering the fact that, there were conversations about revolutionizing our education sector and having STEM embedded in it as far back as 2016 or 2015, actually. And how far have we come with that? are we jumping on the bandwagon with AI suddenly because AI is the new big thing, and we're abandoning the whole idea of embedding STEM into our, because it looks like STEM for us in this country has been electricals and robotics. I don't know. It has been electricals and robotics for us. I mean, so it's a part of the conversation that I think we need to have. If we are going to embed it into our curriculum, it means we need to do it and do it right, so that what has seemed to has happened in the previous times when we were looking to actually cultivate some of these things into our curriculum, and it failed. To be very fair, it failed. I don't think we can say that embedding STEM into our curriculum has been a success so far, because we are very, very far behind. So that's a very first pillar. The second pillar is to empower the youth for jobs, to equip young people with AI related skills, to create pathways for employment and emerging digital industries. This is very much in line with a recent national policy, that is the 1 million coders.
Yes.
I don't know what you do know about it, Charles, but does it sound like a good one for you?
Oh yes, it's actually a very good policy, because a lot of Ghanaians, the unemployment rate in Ghana is very high, and introducing coding to unemployed people who don't have anything to do, and now they've been given the opportunity to learn something that they can hold dear to their hearts. And if the government implements it well, I think it would ease the unemployment rate on the government and give the unemployed youth of this country something to do, something to have their hands on. So yes, and when they say coding, it's not just about maybe learning HTML or learning SQL, but it's mostly about giving the youth digital skills that can be monetized, that can be used to solve problems, our everyday problems. So I think it's a very good initiative, and it's something we should applaud the government for. Yeah.
Right. That seems to be a very good one. Once again, implementation might be the challenge we would have. But Salas, let's look at this. The fourth pillar here is telling us that they are looking to facilitate data access and governance, and then to establish frameworks for secure, ethical, and open data use.
Well, I think the data infrastructure in Ghana, I wouldn't say it's at the top notch, because when you look at data centers in Ghana, yeah, they are coming up. But I think there's more to do in that particular space with regards to the power system, with regards to other infrastructure or maybe the land. The data centers usually in Ghana are centered in Accra and all that, and Accra is choked. In case of anything happening to Accra, do we have any redundancies and all that? I think the infrastructure is that the government need to look at the core aspect of this particular pillar. So I think for now, maybe let's see what the next years will be like.
I mean, that ties very much in with the third pillar. The third pillar is to expand digital infrastructure, that is computing facilities and capacities outside Accra, and enhance the national grid and set up tech innovation hubs. I mean, that's very much within it. But
True.
I look at this and I smile. It looks like a very good one. But if you think about the fact that for a country that we are still suffering power outages in June 2026, if you want to expand it outside Accra, it looks pretty much not feasible for me, actually, because how much have we maximized it Accra in within Accra to actually think about expanding it outside Accra, because Accra seems to be the hub for every commercial activity. And we have areas in some of the other regions where electricity access, internet access, basically, is a problem.
Yep.
So how are we having a conversation? I mean, the vision looks very big, and that's why I'm probably raising concerns about feasibility, because we've seen it before. If we say we've not seen it before, then we are probably joking. We are probably not being honest to ourselves. So that's the problem I have. The other one is sector adoption. That is the sixth point. The sixth point is basically saying that they will promote AI integration in key sectors, that is healthcare, agriculture, finance, education, energy, and transportation. Charles, what do you think about this one?
Okay, so to promote AI in sectors, we need to have a discussion with the sector heads or the decision makers in particular sectors to be able to come up with maybe like a smaller strategy for them. Right now, we have a bigger vision board that is to get the sectors to actually follow. But do they have the needed technical requirements and needed expertise to actually undertake this expansion? But I think it follows from the previous strategies because they build up on each other. That's how come the first one is embedding it into our curriculum. Then the second one is training people. So by the time we get to the sector heads implementing the AI into their sectors and into the various industries in which they operate, we would have enough skilled labor and enough expertise in that particular sector to work on.
Right. That's embedding AI into various sectors. I think that's very basic for AI integration in Ghana. I mean, if you want to integrate AI and integrate it very well, one of the things we'll need to do is to have a sector-based approach. So I think I buy into that idea. We need to have a sector-based approach, and then implement it very well, very well. The other one is, I think this is a very interesting one. So let's look at this one. Fund research addressing local challenges. So invest and apply AI research. This is actually looking at the fact that they are looking to fund about 10,000 AI researchers by the year 2035.
Well, it's very ambitious. I think very ambitious because looking at our not to say that we don't have a research facility, because I know the health sector has really good research facilities, but with regards to technology, well, such technologies are entitled to private entities, and such private entities are very costly. So I don't know, maybe the government have to maybe look at that particular pillar very critically, because I think it's very ambitious in my opinion. Yeah.
Right. The last one, which I know has generated a lot of controversy, a whole lot of it actually, is to promote AI in the public sector. Deploy AI in governance, service delivery, and policy making. So in the adoption of AI tools in the public sector, we've seen very recent ones going on at the ports and harbors where the system has been automated completely, actually, where instead of human beings actually having to deal with clearance of goods and some of those things at the ports, now an AI system is actually doing it. Problem people actually have is the fact that they say the AI tool is overcharging them. The problem at hand initially was that there was too much human influence and it was causing corruption and some of those things. So people were having to pay more than necessary. Now the AI tool is in and people are paying more than what they used to pay under human influence. And people are actually complaining, actually. And that's been one of the challenges. But GRA says we've made times 2 of the profit we used to make when humans were managing a system. So that is one of the problems we do have in that sector. What do you think about that?
Well, for me, I think that it could be, is an assumption here, that the problem is stemming from the data that we are feeding the AI in this input upon the delivery of the goods and all that. So I think we need to check what data we are feeding. Probably they are looking at the weight. Probably they are looking at something that they are not using an accurate metric for it. So I think it is needed for us to actually evaluate what we are inputting into the AI and then try and know. Because the main aspect about this is to make sure that there is more or less an ease of movement for the ordinary Ghanaian to be able to, just clear his goods from the port and then have his goods coming to and then have a business going. So I think there is a need for us to, reevaluate that particular aspect. Well, in my opinion, though.
Right. Let's look at the entire national policy document in its entirety. Charles, do you genuinely think this is a very good document, 2, a very feasible one, 3, one that we need at this particular point in time for a country like Ghana?
Okay, so I believe the document is a very good policy. The strategy is a very good strategy, because anything you want to do, you have to make a strategy for it. You have to get a goal, and after making that goal, you have to make lines in that goal that you want to achieve. So that's what the strategy sets out to achieve. And at this point in time, as I said earlier, the world is moving towards technology, global technology adoption. And it's only right that we also adopt towards the world's current changing trends. Last but not least, for feasibility, I think it all stems from the infrastructure gaps in the country. If that can be solved, the strategy is going to be very effective, and I believe that Ghana will become the next Silicon Valley in the next 10 years if that is solved.
This is a very controversial part of it. I think there's maybe you should correct me if I'm wrong. There's a part in the national strategy that actually mentions that we need some $250 million to actually implement this strategy to build an AI hub or something like that. A lot of the times, in my opinion, I think a lot of the times whenever stuff like this come into play, it looks and happens like Ghana is very good at coming together with PDF files. We can easily put together a PDF file for scholarship purposes. Now, if you have $250 million, Silas, and you can invest in something in the tech space, would you invest in building an AI hub?
Well, like Charles said, the world is moving to a revolution whereby we've moved past the normal computing. We are now letting the computer itself think and then produce results for us. I think a quarter of $1 billion, I think is something that we need to look at. Is worth it, honestly, in my opinion, though.
Do you think we need that AI supercomputer center worth $250 million?
Yes.
As compared to probably boosting our tech space. Internet connectivity is a problem in this country. Mm-hmm. We could use that money to help internet connectivity in this country, boost our telecommunications sector. In terms of coverage, it's one of the problems we do have in this country. If you do have $250 million, and do you not think, well, in my opinion, I think it is prudent that we start from the fundamentals, actually, because this is very fundamental.
Yeah.
And we don't seem to have solved the fundamental. We want to move and go and solve something. Would you use that money instead of solving the fundamentals? Would you go in and build a super AI hub, that is a computing hub for AI?
Okay, so I believe that before you build a super hub, you need to have your fundamentals checked. And I think the plan is for the government to have these infrastructures in place, because without these infrastructures in place, it will collapse within the few years of it being enacted. So I think it is necessary for us to invest in the technology space whereby you put certain infrastructures in place, you put, maybe if there's a grid you're talking about, you put all the grid in place, power outages, you check them, if it's data centers that you need to, implement, maybe take some of them outside of Accra, put some of them at the, outskirts of, the major hubs of Accra. I think it will actually help in that respect than to actually invest solely on the AI. But I'm thinking here, and I'm being pragmatic in this approach, that the government wouldn't just start up and then just create an AI and just let the AI be running. Based on the current infrastructure that we have, I think it will collapse. But if the government is actually planning on creating an AI hub, all these fundamental infrastructures will need to be implemented. I don't know, that's my opinion, but I don't know if Charles has a different opinion on this.
Well, personally, I believe that it is a good strategy because, as I said earlier, the world is moving towards AI adoption, and there is a buzzword that data is the new oil. So our fundamentals might not be right, but we have other allocations for that. So giving this particular allocation to AI at this particular time is something that is going to help us in the long run. Because if we don't do it now and do it well, in the next 10 years, we might not have the opportunity to localize our data, to actually train our data set. So I think it's a very good initiative, and we should applaud the government for it. It's just that the strategy is good. If they can implement it, well done. So that's what we're looking at, and we're watching this space in the next 10 years.
Right. Do we think it's feasible to achieve in 10 years?
Well, I believe experts sat down to actually ascertain whether it could be done.
Sitting down in his
Yeah, so I mean, it's very possible. It is. If we look at other countries such as Kenya, for example, they also set similar objectives and they managed to achieve a certain threshold of that. So maybe you might not be able to achieve it at 100% level, but I think around 70% we are good to go.
70.
Yeah.
I mean that would be a success if we do.
Yes.
But so in 10 years we are looking to be the Silicon Valley of AI in Africa. But Silas, this to you. A part of the conversation is mentioning that you want to be a silicon hub for a sector where you are starting late.
Well, there's this statement that my friends used to tell me: there's no harm in dreaming, because you don't know what your next steps will be like. So I think it's not a harmful thought. The government could be the Silicon Hub in Africa. We know that Kenya is leading. We know that South Africa is there. We know that Nigeria, we are even behind Nigeria. Well, it's subject to argument, but I think we can get there. But in 10 years' time, I think we need to reevaluate that as well.
I think that's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. But that's it for our pod today. We've actually looked at the various pillars in the national AI strategy that has been launched by the government of Ghana and under the Ministry of Communication and Digital Innovation. What do you think about it? What's your thoughts about some of these things? Do you think it's a feasible plan? Do you think it's just a document, just like we've had over the past years in this country? Do you think this is going to help revolutionize the entire tech and AI space in this country? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Drop a like, leave a comment for our post, and share so a friend can see this. Join us on the Insight Room the next time we have a conversation. My name is Anakwame Obin. I did this with Charles and Silas, and we shall meet again next time.